Alright guys, it's Holly. Welcome back. And today we're going to talk a little bit about different body types and different body compositions and why you should embrace your natural body type and be happy with yourself regardless. And I also want to talk about how if you're technically a few pounds overweight according to quote unquote the charts, you might actually be really healthy. You might actually not be overweight at all. So I don't even know where to begin on this. This is a really huge topic for me. So as far back as I can remember, even from the age of 9 or 10, every time I would go to the doctor, for whatever reason, they would weigh me and then they would say something like, you could stand to lose a few pounds, maybe 7 or 8 or maybe even 10 or a little bit more. So they started telling me that at a very young age, and I was not fat by any means, and I've never been fat, and still to this day I'm not fat. So I have a very muscular body type, and so a lot of people look at me and they don't realize how much I weigh, or they would think, oh, you look fine, you're not fat, but you're not skinny, and so when I see myself, I see a healthy person. I don't see fat, I don't see skinny, I just see healthy. And I really want to point out that not everybody is going to be able to attain these strict weight guidelines that the doctors and physicians and, they try to put on us here in this matrix. And they try to tell us, they're not taking into consideration muscle mass, all these BMI charts and everything. And so it's like in the past, every time I would take a BMI test online or whatever, for my weight and my height, it would tell me like, oh, you actually need to lose 15 pounds, 20, or, sometimes even up to 30 pounds, depending on, the different website or the different test or whatever. And depending on how much I weighed at the time. Now, my weight fluctuates a little bit. So right now, I weigh about 141 pounds. I've gotten as heavy as about 144 to 145. And I've gotten as skinny as about 124 to 125. So, it's a big range in there. The best weight for me, I feel like, is more of around the 135 range, 138 or even 139. It just depends. But, somewhere in, the 130s. I feel like when I get under about 130, I start looking pretty skinny. So, to make a long story short, I really just want to point out that there are 3 main body types, and I've talked about this before. You've got endomorphs, ectomorphs, and mesomorphs. So you've got fat, you've got skinny, and in the middle is your mesomorph. And the mesomorph is the muscular, athletic body type. And most of us know that muscle weighs a lot more than fat. So what I'm getting at is that over time, I have learned to be happy with my body because I can eat super healthy and never slip up every day of my life. I can exercise for an hour every day of my life, 2 hours, it doesn't even matter. I could exercise all day, and take supplements every single day and do meditation and do all of these things. And I'm still gonna be a little bit bigger than what they want me to be. So when I look at myself, I just see a healthy person. And I really want to point out that it's so important to take into consideration your body type, because I feel a lot of people out there, they're looking at these charts, and these charts are very misleading. And it's like these charts are telling you, yeah, you're 10 pounds overweight, you're 20 pounds overweight. But in reality, you're looking at yourself and you're like, well, I might have an extra 4 or 5 pounds, but most of me is actually muscle. Or maybe you don't even have any extra pounds. Maybe it's all muscle and you don't understand how you can lose that, because it's not easy to lose muscle, especially if you're an active person. So when I was younger, in my early to mid-teens, I was into modeling, and they constantly wanted me to lose weight, and I was nothing but muscle. I had no fat on my body. It got to a point my ribs were popping out because I was eating so little to fuel my body, and it was a miserable experience. And this went on for at least a couple of years. So, in the end, by the time I was about 17, I just started eating what I wanted. And I just started saying, that's it, I'm not going to do this to myself anymore. And I was so much healthier and so much happier from that point on. So yeah, I mean, I could honestly pretty well starve myself and still not be the way they want me to be, as far as how much these charts, and BMI wants me to weigh. So it's not just my personal experience. This is the experience of a lot of other people too. I mean, and as a woman, I'm very active. I'm a mother. I'm doing stuff nonstop. I know I'm burning a ton of calories. So, choose to look at yourself with contentness. Even if you're a few pounds overweight, just be happy with yourself and do the best that you can, with your diet, with exercise. You don't want to overdo it in the same point, because that can be really unhealthy as well. Just do the best that you can. And, if you're still not within a certain range of weight, just don't even worry about it. So that's really what I wanted to get across